from sleep so that we vibrate in our singing session. Okay, before we start, I just kindly ask our brother Babel to come forward to pray with us as we will be preparing to sing.
Let's go way down and we pray. Our most gracious Father, we are thankful for your wonderful hour we are in. Father in heaven, we are calling your name to lead us at the end of this Sabbath. Lead us also in the singing and bless us what we are doing. In Jesus' name we believe and pray. Amen.
Thank you so much. We would like us to welcome our viewers who are following us online. You're most welcome in this song session. You can enjoy from wherever you are. And we are glad that we have you. Okay, this is how we're going to be singing. We'll be taking choices from you. And this is the order. Last time we started from here, so this time we're going to be starting from, we start from here. We come to the middle here, then this side, and we go back. Is that okay? And that's how we're going to do it. And then, of course, to the pulpit. So, for us to start, we are going to start from pulpit. Okay, we are going to sing song number 125, Adventist Hymnal, Joy to the World. See. Joy to the world, joy to the world, the Lord is come. One, two, we go. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive our King. Let every heart prepare His fruit. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior's reign. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods from hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sin and sorrow show, nor loss invest the broad. He comes to make His blessings flow, far as their cause is far, far as their cause is far, far as the cause is far. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love. Amen. All right, that's one of my favorite songs, and I hope you'll be blessed. Yes? She went ahead of you, my brother. 5 what? 590. 590. Trust and obey. The key is F. When we walk with the Lord in the light of His word. Want we go? When we walk with the Lord in the light of His word, what a glory it sheds on our way, while we do His good will. In our eyes with us still, and with all who will trust and obey, trust and obey. Oh, let's go. the way. What He says we will do. Where He says we will go. Ever be only trust and obey. Trust and obey. For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. Amen? Yes? Yes? How far? What's the number? 439. How far from home? So your help. You should master that one now. 438. Okay, One, two, go. I bid my stay, the watchman stay, the Lord the night is almost gone, the morning we pray. Then we no more, but be thy guide, with hope strikes thy guiding ray, till thou shalt reach the realms of light in everlasting day. I ask the glory on the field, His mercy song, His bearing song in courage. Oh, that's what I feel, how much all His of Lord, and we know and we know, but will endure the complete heal, and what is done for these we know the price is sure, when victory is won. I ask again, I sing our son, sing with one voice to every blind and lazy sons and weary bride in journey His life. Then with no more and with no more, with warning close, for tempter's sun, a deepening round the whole creation waiting close to hear the trumpet sound. Not far from home, oh blessed God, the traveler's lonely heart to cheer. From the healing blood has grown, and bright the morning. And we know more, since we shall be well grateful, since never know our trials past, our joys complete, saving our Father's home. You didn't see that one. 251. 251. He lives. I saw a reason Savior lives in the world today. That is his A flat. I the reason Savior is in the world today. So this is the order. When we go like this, we'll also go back like this. Okay? So, now when we come here, folks, we'll go back like this. So that we'll go like this, okay? Alright. I serve a risen Savior, He's in the world today. I serve, once we go, I serve a risen Savior, He's in the world today. I know that He is living, whatever men may say. I see His hand of mercy, I hear His voice of peace. And just the time I need Him, He's always near. He lives, just Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me, along my narrow way. He lives, salvation to record. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Let's raise it. I know the world around me. Raise it 2 times. In all the world around me, want to go? In all the world around me, I see His loving care. And though my heart grows weary, I'll never will despair. I know that He is living through all the stormy blood. That day of disappearing without my blood. He lives, Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along that narrow way. He lives, salvation to report. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Rejoice, rejoice, O Christian, lift up your voice and sing. Return of hallelujah to Jesus Christ the King. The hope of all who seek Him, the help of all who strive. Not the race so loving, so good and kind. He lives, Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me and talks with me along that narrow way. He lives, salvation to record. You ask me how I know He lives. He lives within my heart. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ridiculous. Huh? 198. 198 and can it be G? And can it be that I should get on 198 we go? And can it be that I should get uninterested in the Savior's life? That He for me who caused His faith, for me who He to death pursued. Amazing love, how can it be that the oh my God, should die for me? He left his father's throne above, so free, so infinite his grace. And did himself on hard love, and bled for others helpless race. He died for me. Wow, that was powerful. And let me give to Brother Vale Musa. Yes, we are going this order. Your choice. $595. Let every lamp be burning. Okay, this one is the opening song. Can we kindly rise up as we sing this? Let every lamp be burning. If not. Every lamp be burning bright. Every lamp, want to go? Every lamp be burning bright, the darkest hour is nearing. Darkest hour of God's long night, before the Lord's appearing. Then bring your love, my brethren, then bring your love with God within. Now Master's coming, growing near, let every lamp be burning. Though 1,000 thousands number on the last great message morning, we rest our living faith upon His promise of returning. Then bring your love, my brethren, then bring your love with holy faith. The Master's coming, drawing near, let every lamp be burning. His word at last is true, the guide. We cannot be mistaken. No dangers rise on every side. We shall not be forsaken. Then bring your love, my brethren, then bring your love with holy faith. The Master's coming, drawing near, let every lamp be burning. Then let the ones with faith appeal to help the world around us. Obedience brings the blessings in when faith has firmly bound us. Then bring your love, my brethren, then bring your love with holy faith. The Master's coming, growing in, let every lamp be burning. Let us also, our most loving Father, we give unto you again our little earth throughout in the morning after this time. We are again coming before you to let us, to give us understanding, to give us ability to speak before thy people. Let everything that will come from our mouths, everything that we speak, let it be something that will glorify the name of God. We call upon you then for those who cannot manage to listen, for those who cannot manage to stay up to this time. Be with them and lead them wherever they are going. And for those who have remained here, listen from you. Be with us. Is our humble prayer and this name we pray.
Happy Sabbath, church. Good afternoon. I want to thank the Lord for those of you who have remained behind. For this afternoon, we say we will be having a panelist as we continue discussing about matters of our health. These panelists, we already introduced their names. We have Brother Ruben Mawut, and then Sister Dr. Monica Ketch, and Brother Dr. Kenyo Kenneth, and myself, Elder Dr. Daniel Machua. You want to hear those titles, isn't it? Now, we say we will be doing panelists on mental health. You will agree with us that mental health is a real problem. But if you don't know that it's a problem, it could be because you have not seen someone suffering from mental health. If you see either from your family, and mostly if there is anyone here sitting in this congregation who ever had a relative suffering from mental health, you will agree with us that it is truly a problem. Why is it a problem? Mental health. And of course, from the definition of health, you all know health. For those who don't know also, health is defined as a state. Okay? Get the words right. State of physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, and not necessarily the absence of disease or infirmity. That is the World Health Organization definition. Now, if you pick out of these four, we're going to talk about mental health. State of mental health is a problem. Why mental health is a problem? Why is it so much a problem? For two reasons. One, mental health conditions take long to heal, and most of them do not heal. Those that can be cured take long, and those that could not be cured can disorganize a person's life and the life of the loved ones. Number two, there is nothing as bad as losing your mind. If I was asked, and God forbid, to choose between losing a mind or losing an eye, I would choose to lose an eye. If you are asked to lose a hand or a mind, you will choose to lose a hand. Because you can lose your hand or your leg, but you can still live. Let me tell you, the blind, people who are blind, you ask their life, the life of the blind, and the life of a person with mental health problems, the blind are happy. You ask the deaf, they are better than those who have mental shutdowns. You see why mental health is such a problem? Because we don't only deal with handling physical things which you see. Like this is a wound, this is pain, this is bleeding. No, those are not the things. The problem is in the mind and you cannot see it. And there are no good drugs that address most of these problems. You deal with person's life. And with mental health, we deal with people, we don't deal with a disease. we deal with the person. In most cases, you treat the disease, but you treat the disease by dealing with the person. When you lose your mind, you have lost your physical health. Even if you don't have wounds, you are not healthy. You've lost your mind, you lose your spiritual health. Because at that time you don't have a relationship with God, and you don't even know what it means to pray or to worship God. You lose your mental health. You lose the social aspect of it, because you cannot keep relationships. If you are married, you cannot keep that relationship. If you are a child at home, you cannot keep relationship. If you are not even married, you will never marry with that mental health problem, because you will lose what it means to relate with others. That's why we chose this topic. This doctor here, Dr. Maud, we have summarized the causes into three. Dr. Ruben Maud will talk about causes of mental health that come from drugs. Broadly, we call them drugs, including alcohol. Alcohol and other drugs are major cause of mental health disorders. Dr. Monica will talk about mental health problems that come from social and economic hardships. Social and economic problems can cause mental health. And then Dr. Kenneth will talk about the medical causes of mental health. Problems that, medical problems, diseases that can cause mental health. Each of them will have maximum 10 minutes, and then after they talk, all of them, you can ask questions. So please pay attention, write down your questions, then when time comes, you will direct it to one of them, whoever you want to ask the question. When they finish, we will ask those who have questions to raise their hands, and then so that we manage our time very well. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to start with Dr. Maud. Come forward, and then they will follow each other. Thank you.
Yeah, today is a good day, by the way, to share and hear from the health department. It has been long awaited day that we share some of the early messages. The one of the messages of the last day is the early message. And the thing that we are going to share here is that if all of us cannot do, we have our brothers, we have our sisters, our relatives, neighbors, who can be indulgent in all these manner of the things that we are going to share, and that is why it is very important. By far, as you have heard, that we will be talking about the mental disorders, the diseases that can affect our brain, the diseases that can affect our normal functioning of the brain. One of the things that we are going to discuss are disorders related to the drugs that people take. I know no one there can take drugs, but it's very important for us to have something in our mind that if we go outside there, we can also teach people. We will be talking about alcohol itself. It's one of the drugs that people are taking outside there. Even if your relative is not taking, your neighbor must take. So it is very important for us to discuss what is the condition, what the alcohol caused. We will talk of drugs, the drugs that people take that can also cause, that can contribute, that become risk factor for the mental disorder. And before we look into that, let Ambrose our Father give us a wisdom to dig into this. This is my humble prayer and this is my humble prayer. So, who have heard about the alcohol? We all know alcohol, right? What is the source of alcohol? Where do we get alcohol? Yes? Yes?
No, we have many sources that we get alcohol. Some we get alcohol from the drugs that are things that are good.
You know we get alcohol from the things that we eat. Even the sugar itself, the sugar that we take tea, we can still use and get what? And get alcohol. And we get drunk. And that one can also affect us. The maize that we are eating the flour. People can also do what? Can also ferment it and bring alcohol. So meaning that alcohol does not come from farm substances. It is the food, good food that we have, these are the ones that we can turn to be alcohol. How is that fair to us today as people of God? Because we are one. It is one of the sensitive parts that we will discuss. Because people understand that alcohol is not a problem. They have even baptized it to the extent that they can call some wine, jellies, yogurt, even you can get bitter. That is the way they have named the alcohol because they want to consume. Why do they do that? Because they say, even Jesus himself brewed the alcohol in the wedding of Cana. And that is the verse that people are taking alcohol. They say that it's not something that we can say is not holy. It is holy because it is written in the Bible. Someone told me like that. That if I am lying, you can go. Even the alcohol that people prefer, those who were conducting the wedding, was bad. And when Jesus came, the one who knew how to manufacture alcohol, he did the best. But that is not the case. We are now going to see the impact of alcohol. I have seen alcohol itself is separating homes. It's causing divorce at our homes. And it is because we don't understand exactly the consequences of alcohol. Medically, alcohol is bad. We all know it is bad. Socially, when someone takes alcohol now, it will neutralize the normal living of the other people. That is the best thing that we can see. But medically, it has a great impact in our life. What is the impact? There are some conditions that alcohol can bring. One of them is mania. A condition called mania, it is characterized by the elevation of the mood. You become agitated. You become overactive. Some of them you might have seen, those who have mania. They can be extremely excited and talkative. They can have elevated mood. They can have that kinds of persuasive words that when they talk with ladies here because they can convene. They become sexually active because of elevated mood that they have encountered. And what causes that? Because alcohol itself, it has on some receptors. And these receptors, if they are affected, they will cause overclouding of the dopamine. There's a neurotransmitter called dopamine. It is the one which coordinates our happiness. When that neurotransmitter is released, you'll be very happy. And that is why these hormones or neurotransmitter, they can only work only in some circumstances. For example, if you bathe, would you feel after bathing, how do you feel? You feel relaxed, feel loving. That is what the alcohol can induce. And if there is overblooding of dopamine, it causes a mania. It causes the level of activity of the brain to be beyond the normal. Another part is if it cannot cause the mania, it will cause depression. Your brain will not function. You will have a low mood. I think you might have seen some people on the road there. You can leave a person standing on the same position, and when you come back in the evening, you will get the same person standing there. The person is having a low mood. He is not active. All these can be brought by alcohol and other sexual induced mental factors. One of the conditions that the alcohol can bring, that we need to educate people to leave alcohol itself, is a condition called dementia. People keep on taking alcohol. Do you know the reason why they love alcohol? It is not because they love alcohol if you start taking alcohol. If you start today taking alcohol, you will have that tolerance. Today you can get drunk with that quantity. Tomorrow it is not the same quantity that you are going to get drunk. It will keep increasing like that, and that's why there are some people that can finish crates of beer. Because they are used to. And if you are used to like that, it will cause some neurotransmitter. There are some things that we cannot understand, but they can go like that. Some neurotransmitters, these neurotransmitters, they are the ones responsible for our consciousness. And if your consciousness, your like and dislike are distorted, you will be restricted to that feeling of having alcohol all the time. And that is why it is very hard to withdraw the alcohol itself. So when you take alcohol too much, it also causes dementia. It is a result of overuse of alcohol itself. It's one of the conditions that can cause confusion. Your brain will not function the way it is supposed to function. And I experienced, there's one day that a patient came to the hospital. The patient who used to drink and became an alcohol addict person. He came to the hospital, he wanted to withdraw the act of taking alcohol. And when he came to the hospital, approached the doctor, I'm coming to you. For me now, I am experiencing my memory loss. So even when my wife leaves me to take care of children, I forget them and I do different things. So now I'm coming to do what? I'm coming for medical advice. And now you know we doctors, we are suffering from the hospital there. Because we did the information, we asked the real time, we have the history, how it started. Now the doctor asked, when did it started? And how did it started? For him to show that the memory loss is something fair, instead of responding, he asked the doctor what? Because he has already forgotten what he has said. He came to her the information that he could go and do. The doctor, my memory loss is now becoming worse. I can just get lost easily. I lost my easily. Even if I'm given responsibility, I just leave. And the doctor prepares and says, now when did it start? He said, when? You need doctor again to explain to him what he came so that doctor reacts. So these are the things that alcohol can bring. Alcohol can also cause blood pressure. And this is the thing we need to take seriously. How does it cause? Alcohol is one of the things that have a lot of effect, more than the one that I have said. And it is serious. Above all, we understand that those who are taking alcohol will not go to heaven. That is a spiritual part. And that is why it is good for us to warn each and every one of us. We need to help our brothers and our sisters outside there. Concerning the drugs, what are the drugs? We have tobacco, we have marijuana, we have what? Cocaine, we have tea, we have coffee. The reason why some of the Adventists are not taking coffee, tea, this is what we are going to discuss from here. You cannot get exactly coffee, tea on the text, but you can get from here, on the earth's message. When we talk of tobacco itself, for those who are smoking tobacco, it contains nicotine. There is a chemical called nicotine. This nicotine, it takes the position of acetylcholine. There is a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. It is the one that is during fight or flight. It acts on ganglionic synapse. So if you are always taking nicotine, something having nicotine like tobacco, it will go and take the position of what? Of acetylcholine. And it will act on adrenal glands. And within adrenal glands, there are some hormones that can be released. And those hormones, they are the ones concerning fight or flight. One of them is adrenaline. Adrenaline here is an hormone if you want to fight or you want to fly. For example, if the dog comes there, a brave dog, that can bite or lion, what will you do? The body will react. When you see a brave lion from there, your brain will interpret that one is not a normal lion. And what will the body do? The body will act. And the body will send some neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, and acetylcholine will stimulate the release of adrenaline. And adrenaline is the one that will energize you. It will increase your blood pressure. Now it will increase you to be ready for flight or to be ready for fighting. And this one is the work of the natural transmitter which is in the body, and that natural transmitter is acetylcholine. But when you are taking nicotine, it will take the work of acetylcholine and work on the adrenal gland to release the adrenaline, which can cause blood pressure. And we know blood pressure is a silent killer. Blood pressure itself is itself hypertension. Because if your blood pressure is high, that is hypertension. And it is a silent killer. You cannot experience it, but if you are always taking it, for those who are taking tobacco, if you are smoking, for the first time, it has no problem. But with time now, it will result into that. Another effect is the cancer itself. can cause lung cancer, all of us are aware. So one of the drugs that is killing people now, or the drugs induce disease, one of it is tobacco itself, marijuana. All these, they cause cancer. So, is that a good natural thing that we can take? We don't have time. Another one that I want to talk is, before I end, is coffee and tea. The reason why we are not taking coffee and tea, you know, coffee and tea contain caffeine. We are all aware of caffeine. Caffeine can be bought in soft energy drinks. For those who are taking energy drinks, have you ever checked this energy, the one that we are taking here? It has caffeine inside. And caffeine is a stimulant. At that particular time when you take, for those who take coffee, they say that the reason why we take coffee is because we don't want to sleep. Mostly, students they take for them not to sleep and they eat. Yes, at short term, it can make you to be refreshed. It can make your mind to be active. But at the long term, it causes blood pressure. It causes increased heart rate. It causes cardiovascular condition, cardiovascular diseases. That is why Seventh-day Adventists are not taking coffee, they are not taking tea, because of these drugs which are inside. So that is the reason. And this is one of the messages of the last day. I have taken time, and most of us may have some questions, but this is just for a short part of the drugs induced mental disorders that we encounter in our life. Alcohol, one of the main factors, tobacco, and marijuana, and this coffee, tea that we take. Soft drink, even the other sodas. There are some sodas that has caffeine like Coke up. So we have heard from today, if you were taking energy, the reason why it is called energy because there is caffeine inside, and when you take caffeine, it will stimulate you to work for that short period of time. But when you keep on taking it now, it will have effect. And our bodies are made in the way that they will function naturally, and they should not be induced by any drugs. That if you have not taken, like some people now, they have known, they are well acquainted, they are addicted to coffee. If they have not taken, they say that I feel lazy if I am not taking coffee. Meaning that the driver there is coffee. And if he or she have not taken coffee, the body cannot work. We are not generators or machines that can be driven by anything. We need to work naturally the way what I have created us. Thank you very much for listening. Maybe there are some questions. I beg to stop here.
So you keep your questions and even comments we shall do at the end. The next person is Dr. Monica.
Happy Sabbath and happy day. Indeed, it's a wonderful Sabbath about mental health. Right from the sermon this afternoon. How many have been blessed so far? Amen. As we have heard before, I'm going to talk about sexual issues that are related to mental health. Before I start, can we have a word of prayer? Dear divine everlasting Father, Lord King of the universe, may the glory and honor be to you for all the things that we have been doing this morning up to this hour. Father, help me to deliver what you have prepared me to your children and help them in understanding them. Heal us all with your Holy Spirit. For all this I ask in Jesus' name. Let me start by a research that was made according to the worldwide about the social issues. They only came out of two things that are worldwide issues concerning the social issues related to mental problems. They say that poverty and homelessness are worldwide problem according to Habitat for Humanity. One quarter of the world's population lives in conditions that harm their health and safety. Many do not have shelter and a basic human need for survival. This social issue also goes beyond the 25% of the population directly affected. But now, in addition to these two, as Seventh-day Adventists, yes, poverty is one of the major things. As Christians, that's why some of us are breaking the Sabbath, because we want to get away from the life you are in. You want to make your life better than what you have already have. And the other one, family issue, family problems, especially divorces in the families, separations, romantic issues between those who are in courtship. This is one of the things. Another thing is also education. You want to study, you want to have a better education than what you have already, or what you think will go with you. But due to money issue, you cannot be able to make it. Or you are in a school, but then it's not giving all that you need. You want a better one. This one will also cause you mental problems. Let me go back to family. With family, as you know, that the person that establishes homes is who? Is God. And so, as you are at home, you and your wife, and you have issues, could it be caused by the money? Or could it be caused by you don't have children? Or is it based on adultery? And then you will think of getting divorced. And then one of you, maybe one who was in that thing, who was actually causing the issue, will be okay? Will not be okay? Or will be okay? But the one that has witnessed that, who trusted the other partner, will really have a mental issue on that. He or she will never settle, because he will always think of that, and it will be very hard for him to overcome. But as Christians, we have to fulfill our orders before the Lord. Could you be a woman or a man, a husband or a wife? You know, when you bow at the church before the congregation during your wedding, you know, the order that you make is not for your wife or it's not for your husband, but to the Lord God Almighty. No matter how difficult the things may be around, whenever you think you want to end that marriage, please think of God. Think of God. Because what you enter in is for eternity. It's not something that you will do for that period of time, but when problem comes, you drop. It's not that way. And in a relationship, sometimes yes, it's good to love, but you should not love that much of putting all your confidence to her or to him. Please love him or love her, but above all, love God more than him or she. Because there was a song here that was sung by my daughter and my sister last year about the song was like, Jesus never failed, Jesus never failed. The men of this world will let you down, but Jesus never failed. Your husband will let you down, your wife will let you, and it goes on like that. And that was my first time to hear them doing what? Singing, and I was like, for sure, this is God touching these little people. It's a message to all of us. So please trust the person, but above all, trust God. So that when the relationship ends, at least you will have someone to hold on to, and then you will not have that much depression. As you had before, depression is actually caused by all these social issues that are related to mental problems. When you have all this, you will not associate with people. You will always be lonely. No matter how someone is talking to you, but your heart, your mind will be very far on those issues. You will not concentrate. But you don't have to do that as a child of God. It's better for us to help those who are outside, because we know that we have a God that has prepared everything for us. All the difficulties that we are going in is ever there with us. So do that. And family issue, there's one thing that Elder Asma said during family life, that whenever you have issues with your wife or your husband, please go to the fundamentals. Go to those very words where you start the relationship. Let me tell you this short story. There was a woman who always fight with her husband. Then one day she got tired. That night the husband called her in. He wanted to go and beat her. She went. He was like, what did I do? He went and picked some grass along the compound. So she went and picked those grass. It was night and light a fire with it. And she went around the corner outside, searching what no one knows. The husband was like, why are you not coming? I'm sick of you. He continues with that light with those grass. The husband said, what are you doing? What are you searching? Then he said, you know what? I'm looking for those words. Which word? The very word that we started when we are in our courtship. Where is that love? I am searching for it. The man dropped and stick and called her and apologized. And from that day, he stopped beating his wife. And this is one of the things that I always done. When we came into misunderstanding with my husband, there's this one word that he told me. He told me that, Monica, trust me. I will never harm you. I will handle you like an egg. Do you know how an egg is delicate? It is very delicate. So give me that promise. And I said, okay, fine. Things don't remain the way they were started. Everything can change within the middle there. So every time we have misunderstanding, I will ask him, please, is this how an egg is handled? Then he was being like, what are you saying? I said, yes, remember, you told me you will handle me like an egg. So please keep that promise, don't forget. And then we laugh and say that you are funny, then the issue will end there. There will be no more conference. And so this is the same thing that we are supposed to be doing as well in education. Do what is? Do your best. This is one word I heard from Elder Dan, that always do your best in everything. I was sitting for an exam. Math is the biggest problem in my life. So the paper came, I was looking at the paper, I couldn't recognize any number. So I was in a panic. And I see another boy getting paint by now. It was taken out and we are asked, is there anyone who is not also feeling well that they can go? I wanted to raise my hand. But then I remember what Eladan said, that please always do your best in everything, so that you will not have regret. So I laughed for 30 minutes and I prayed. Then I started my exam. I realized that I knew numbers, so but then when I was in the pressure, I could not. please do your best and always have hope in God. I will conclude with the books of Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7. Let me conclude with that. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 7, which says, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your heart and mind through Christ Jesus." Do that, and may God bless you.
Happy Sabbath. I see some people already sleeping. Tap your name. You never know, it might be a mental health issue also. We are almost coming to an end. I want to thank my colleagues. And as my elder and senior doctor said, mental health issues, there are 4 pillars. There is emotional, there is social, financial, and physical. And my previous colleagues were talking about the others. Me, I'm going to talk about the physical aspect of mental health. A research was done and they said depression is associated with approximately 50% increase in medical costs of chronic illnesses. What does it mean? If you have HIV, depression is straight away will step in. Why? What we mean by chronic is you will have a disease that you have for a very long time. So when you have HIV, when you have diabetes, you know those are diseases that are chronic. Straight away you have depression. Why? You will have low mood. As my colleague Dr. Ruben said, you will have low mood because you know the disease is there. It is going to stay with you for some time. So you will have that depression. And controlling of that physical illness will become a challenge. Dementia, which is a gradual loss of memory. And the example is the most common one is Alzheimer's disease. And it is always in the elderly people. So I'm not seeing an elderly person, so we are still below the age, whereby you are forgetting easily things. And it says that it increases the hospital costs. Why? Because remember, someone with Alzheimer's disease, he easily forgets, and if there is no a caretaker, he might even forget the drug that he's taking. And as long as you forget, you are extending the duration of taking the drugs. And if you're extending the duration, that means you're increasing the cost of buying another one after buying the previous ones. So if we understand the pathophysiology, the understanding of how a disease comes about, and the surgical aspect, if I may ask, if you are told tomorrow you are going for a surgery, straight away you'll have a depressed mood. Not a depression, but a depressed mood. Why? Because you know the aspect of a surgeon. You know they are going to cut you open. So your mind will not be at rest. So when we understand how a disease comes about, and if someone is going under surgery, and we also understand the side effects of some medications. Some of us, of course, we have taken some medications. You take one and then you start having hallucinations. You start imagining things. Those are side effects. So when we understand that it's because of this drug, that's why I'm having this kind of imaginations, and not because of the condition, then we will tackle the mental health issue much better. But if we mix them both, whereby we know this is a mental health issue and it's not a drug-induced side effect, then we won't come up with better treatments. There are many diseases, so we are not going to talk about all of them. but we'll just pick a few, depending on the systems. The first one, obviously, we start with the heart. As some people say, we love through the heart. But we don't love through the heart, we love through the mind. Though you see the heart pains when you are broken. If you have a problem that causes adrenal rush, whereby when you are told to stand up and speak, you start sweating, the heart starts pumping at 100 kilometers per hour. If, for example, you recall an event that is emotionally based, some will understand that, then you are likely to have what we call arrhythmias. Arrhythmias is the abnormal conduction of the heart, whereby if it is supposed to start like this, your heart will start doing this. That is the condition. So if you continuously have that episode whereby you have that adrenal rush, now and then they tell you out of the group, hey, Abu, come and speak, and straight away your heart starts pumping. If you continuously have that, then you will have what we call arrhythmias. And arrhythmias, if you have it one time, as our elder said during the sermon, your heart one time will automatically stop and you have a sudden death, because the heart cannot continuously be pumping abnormally. It has to follow a rhythm. So, if we can avoid such kind of situations, some of them are not, they don't even need medication. For example, relaxation techniques, whereby when they call you to speak, just first don't sweat the head up, relax, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. You calm your nerves, then you stand up. But some of us, we think when they call immediately you rest, they might think you're a coward. No. You are minding about your health, not about the people that are here. So if you know you are one of them, just breathe in, breathe out, relax yourself. Then you start, even if you take 1 minute, even if the person they put is still waiting for you, relax, then come out, and then you speak. Because remember, we are mattering about the heart. Remember, the heart is a machine that is, even when you are in the womb, you are formed, it doesn't stop. When you come out of the womb, it doesn't stop. When you get married and you produce, it doesn't stop. Until you're in the grave, that's when it stops. So let's take care of it. An article was written that when Martin Luther King Jr., when he died, and when they did autopsy, and they opened the heart. Remember, I think he died at 7 years old, right? When they opened the heart was almost of an 82-year-old person. So what does that mean? It means he was overworking the heart. There's what we call sleep apnea. Some of us might have come across it, some of us might not. What we mean by that is you are sleeping at night, and then out of the blue, you stop breathing. When you stop breathing and you're asleep, it's not that you stop breathing and your eyes are open, no. You are asleep. Then your mind triggers and then you wake up and you gasp for air. Then you breathe as if you are being held underwater. That is what we call sleep apnea. Sleep apnea, yes, it affects the person, but the people, if you are married, your partner is the one who suffers most. Why? Because when you have sleep apnea, you snore so loudly. You are not at rest. Remember, someone is sleeping and you are sleeping next to that person. You think you as the partner, you will be comfortable. So, that means if you are married, your partner will be sleeping in a different room. And that one alone is a mental health issue. Because you as the wife or husband, you expect to sleep together. But now because of that issue, he's sleeping differently and you're sleeping differently. You the person is sleep apnea, the whole day, you won't be okay. Why? Because it's an episode. You stop, you wake up, you breathe some air, then you sleep, then again you stop. So the whole night, that is your business. What do you think will happen during the day? You won't do any work. You will feel drowsy. You will feel sleepy because you didn't have enough rest. Some of the treatment for it is they give oxygen at high pressure. You can Google that one. There are some images whereby someone with sleep apnea sleeps with a mask on. The mask on and the tube is next. Why? So that even if you stop breathing naturally, the pressure of the mask forces oxygen in and you continue the cycle. So you will sleep comfortably. And if you are obese, you can reduce your weight so that the airways are relieved and you breathe very well. Peptic ulcer disease. Some of us might have experienced it, some of us might not. A study showed that 50% of those who go to the doctor and say that I have peptic ulcer disease, majority of them don't have it. Why? The reason is we have become our own doctors. In that when you hear someone talking about the signs and symptoms of their disease, automatically our minds evoke the symptoms and signs, and then we feel it. So if it is heartburn, if it is the stomach, when you eat food you feel pain, indeed you will feel that pain. But then when the investigation is done, you don't have the answer. So what is the issue? It's the mind. So when someone tells you about their disease, don't assume you have it also, because you might not have it. But until you are tested, don't also assume that you don't have it. So it is a dilemma there. Diabetes, high blood sugar. Those who have it, as we said earlier, depression always comes with it. Let's give them support. Because yes, they will be living on drugs, but they need the love and the support of the close one. They should be mindful. You know, when someone has the disease, he doesn't openly say it because of stigma and so on. But then when they come to functions, you are given food which is rich in carbohydrates and in sugars, and then out of embarrassment, you don't want to stop it, you don't want to give, then you also eat it, and yet you will get problems. So let's always support those who are around. Let's know them by name. Someone has this disease, so that we also protect them from the harm of it. As we are coming to the end of this, let's look at the personalities. There is what we call type A personality. Type A personality, the behavioral patterns are these. If you have these behavior patterns, then you can now allocate where your personality is. You are ambitious, aggressiveness, competitiveness, impatient, muscle tenderness, alertness, rapid and emphatic vocal style, irritation, cynicism, which is distrustful attitude, whereby you don't trust easily, hostility, and increased potential for anger. That is type A personality. And it's said that most of those with type A personality, their achievement, the person is always hardworking, and their self-esteem is built on constant achievement. So if they don't achieve, their self-esteem is not built. So they need really to achieve. And the problem comes to parents. We should read our children very well so that we know their personalities. The reason is you will pressurize your child to overachieve. And if he has this type A personality, as we looked at it in the sermon, they are always prone to ischemic heart diseases. And one of them is coronary artery disease, whereby the coronary artery is the artery that supplies the heart. So if you have all this, you're ambitious, you're aggressive, you want to overachieve, you are hardworking, you are overworking the heart. And if you're overworking the heart, the artery becomes faint and they become weak. So as parents, let's learn our children so that we don't over-pressurize them to achieve, and yet we are leading them to some disease. There's type D that is being studied, and it's mostly characterized by inhibition of negative emotions and avoiding social contact with others. That is the type D personality. In conclusion, psychiatric disorders in patients with other medical illnesses it always increases mortality. That's the increase the number of deaths. It increases morbidity. That is the incidence of a disease. In that someone can have diabetes and can also have hypertension and can also have depression. You see all that mixture in one person. Then from there you will be perturbed which drug you will use because you are treating 3 diseases in one person. So such disorders will increase that, and it always increases the healthcare costs because to treat 3 diseases in one person is not cheap. And it will decrease the adherence to medical therapies. What does it mean? If someone has 3 diseases, in most cases, he has a range of medication to take. One person cannot take almost 5 tablets per day, morning, evening, morning, evening, and night, or morning and evening for almost 6 months. It's very hard. So that's why the adherence to medical therapies will become low. The message here is, whoever we know that with such diseases, with chronic illnesses, the first thing is, let's offer support. Let's not think of where they got it from, but let's offer support. Let's empathize with them of what they are going through, but let's not be the judges of what they are going through, because we will just add more to their mental health issue that they are already going through because of the chronic illness that they are having. And may God bless you.
Thank you, members, for the presentations. What do we say to them? Amen. Have we learned something? Are there people with questions? People with questions? Can I see your hands properly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only those 7 people, please come. Can I see? I will give you numbers. Raise your hand properly. Now the hands have increased. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So each of you has 1 minute. Please come and ask your question directly to each of the speakers. 1 minute only and 1 question, not more than 1 question.
Happy Sabbath and happy day. Now, sir, I was about to have 3 questions or 4 questions exactly, but I will ask 1 question just. Now, I want to ask concerning about the alcohol. Our brother Robin Moore talks about alcohol before, and we know we are Seventh-day Adventists, but we learned it in sex. We have some communities or some people in our community or in our society that can use to take alcohol. Now we know, according to the medical rule, alcohol is against the medical rule. And when you take it, it might be cause some dangerous. Now when we're having these people, or some doctors, when you're having obesity, you are overfat, they can give you a chance to take alcohol so that you can lose your fatness. How is it now? As we know that alcohol can cause something, and we know the physiology of our body, the way that body functions.
Alcohol is not a drug that can be given to reduce your weight. That one is not medically approved. So if you want to reduce your weight, maybe you are obese, and you want to reduce your weight, the first thing that you can do, reduce eating habits. Because if you reduce eating, the body will try to get rid of the fat that you have accumulated in your body, and you will reduce the fatness that you have. Another one is do exercise, run, go for hiking. You will lose weight. So that that habit of saying that we take alcohol to lose weight, we take alcohol to maybe to forget of the sexual issues at home, we take alcohol because doctor have said you take a small sip of alcohol, that one is not there. So that is what I can say. Even if we have communities who can take alcohol, alcohol is not taken to reduce weight. The rest of the doctor will also talk if that one is there too.
I think so that we don't come back to that question, as he puts it rightly, there is no doctor who can prescribe alcohol for treatment. But you see, these people who do this are there. Those are not doctors. But if you get a true doctor prescribing alcohol, find out the background of that person. Perhaps he drinks and he wants to enroll that person into drinking. Secondly, these are people who are not in their right senses. They have not been trained properly, and they rely on what common man ways of handling problems. You see, there are prescriptions there in the market out there. You do this for this sickness. Why don't you try this? Try this. I have tried it, and my uncle was well. This one I have tried, and he got better. So those things started like that. But they are not anywhere in the literature. They are not scientifically proven, and so alcohol is not a medicine for treatment. Instead, it's a cause of major disease. The next person, number 2.
Happy Sabbath. Mine is not a question as such, but it's a contribution based on our sermon this morning. It was an excellent delivery. In fact, the Bible also prescribes certain remedies that we can put in place so that we can reduce disease. And a few are what I'm going to highlight. First, the issue of fat, eating of fat. I think it's been prescribed in Leviticus 7:22-23 that fat is forbidden. Some people, when you buy meat, they request for fat. And we put the fat on the meat and then cook. The Bible forbids us to eat fat. And the second is blood. I think scientifically it's been proven a lot of diseases are in the blood. If you look at Deuteronomy 12:16, it also forbids the eating of blood. So I can also take note of that. Again, if you look at Leviticus, it gives us several biblical principles in terms of hygiene. So once we follow through with that, that can also help us to avoid a lot of diseases. And then we know that the spirit of prophecy describes too much meat eating is not good for us. Too much meat. So those of you who love meat, because if you eat too much, you predispose yourself to a lot of diseases. So these are the things that, by the grace of God, we have scripture and the spirit of prophecy to help us with these diseases. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elder, for the nice contribution. The third person, number 3.
Happy Sabbath and happy day. So I would like to make you to ask 2 questions since you have said we are supposed to ask 1 question. So the first question is going direct to Maud. Maud, you have talked about what we call neurotransmitters, which our brain cells use when you are communicating with someone. And in fact, you gave us one example of a person who went to you in hospital asking for advice, and then you did not tell us what was your advice to that man before. So I want to hear it. Second tweet, a problem when you are communicating with someone, you base it on taking alcohol, but it happens even to me sometimes when I don't take any drug. So what could be the cause of that? That's under that one question. So it's under that one question, yeah. To Monica, you talk about sexual as a cause or mental problem. And here we have something, even here in Seventh-day Adventist, it's available. Assuming I have a lady I'm in courtship with, and that lady, the state in which we are in our relationship, we are the one who know. In most cases, I might see her relating to another man seriously in a way that I cannot understand. That can automatically change my mood and will start giving me depression. And or I am poor and people will not like to sit with me. So I will think I'm useless. It will take away my value. So as the Church of Seventh-day Adventists, how can we address those sexual problems? Thank you.
Yeah, concerning the man who came to the hospital asking for help to withdraw the alcohol. You know, I brought as an example that alcohol can cause. I said before that alcohol can lead to a state of dementia, the loss of memory. That person came because he has experience, and people have been talking to him that you are so forgetting. What is wrong with you? Maybe it could be this alcohol that you are taking. So when he came to the hospital to explain the thing to the doctor, and then leave the discussion with the doctor wanted to know exactly when the things happened. And when Dr. Perpres now, when did it happen now, he even forgot what he had said. He asked Dr. What. So I just wrote because these are the things that the dementia can bring. But the advice was on how the alcohol can be withdrawn. Even when you are leaving alcohol, you don't leave it. Like this, if you were taking 2 crates, you reduce it to be 1 crate. If you were taking 2 bottles now, let it be 1.5, and then until you leave. So that is the advice that can be given, and there are some drugs also that can also be given to relieve you from the alcohol withdrawal. The other answer goes to
for alcohol, there's a drug called diazepam. It's always for sleeping. Because when you sleep, that means you won't take alcohol. So some of the patients are always treated with that, plus what my brother Ruben said. To your question about the sexual aspect, yes, when you have a depressed mood, it doesn't mean you have a mental issue. According to what you have described, it doesn't mean, because we are humans and God gave us those emotions. But how we deal with them is what we need to learn. And of course, the elder will have sessions to deal with that. How to deal with such emotions. There is this which I want to say, mostly to us youths who are in courtship. And the elderly people will back me up. Because it's not that it's not happening yet in the 70s and 20s. If we start involving ourselves in sexual activities, when we are dating, the one we call boyfriend and girlfriend, how do you expect with the world that we are going to, and you are going to be posted somewhere, and your wife is somewhere, and she will not continue with the same behavior? So the way we train ourselves, self-control. One time I visited pastor, and he said, when you are in courtship and the two of you are seated like this, like how these 2 brothers are sitting, you are not supposed to sit like this if you're a boy and a girl, even if you are talking. Austin is supposed to sit here, that chair is supposed to be filled by an angel. I hope I'm communicating. So you have to have space in between. Why? Because of temptations. We, gents, we are weak humans. We are easily tempted and we easily fall into temptation. So not to give in, let's have that boundary.
That's good. We'll come to summarize a few things. The next person, because of our time, let's make it short. One question, please, 30 seconds. We are reducing it from 1 minute.
Thank you. My question is going to my brother about the physical aspect of mental health. You know, he talked about one of the things that has disturbed me, heart, that you use our heart. And I was wondering, how is it possible? Like you mentioned about Martin Luther, who died at the age of 37, but later it was found that his heart was resembled the heart of a 7-year-old. So I need a little bit of explanation. How do we overwork our heart? And most of the time we have been told that for you to save yourself from heart disease, that you need to run. Is it physically? Do you overwork our heart physically? Like you work for 12 hours, you ride for 6 hours, or most of the time people go, you go and run, do exercise, and you save the heart. It is not clear.
The issue of exercise and how it trains the heart. Here it is, when you run, you know our heart, from the basics, it's for pumping blood. And the vessels, muscle, coronary artery is made of a muscle to pump it, because it's from the heart that it pumps to the coronary artery, and then coronary supplies the heart, but then the aorta, which supplies the rest of the body, it's a muscle. Now, for you to make that muscle strong, that's why we do exercise. Why do we do exercise? As you are running, so that the muscles need the blood. Why do they need the blood? For the oxygen. Why do they need the oxygen? So that your muscle can run, so that your muscle can move. Now for that, for the heart to pump the blood to those muscles, that's why you need that training of running. So that when you are in a situation whereby you won't get tired easily. The reason why when we stand and we are saying we are praying for 1 hour and people are already tired, that is the building of lactic acid in our muscles. What does it mean? It means the oxygen that is in our muscles has been exhausted. And after that, it turns into aerobic. Aerobic, the lactic acid is built. When the lactic acid is built, that's why you feel pain. When you feel the pain, you need to rest the muscle. That's why we sit down. But the runners of marathon, those ones, they do long distance and what? How do they train themselves? They do long distance. The first time, it doesn't mean the first time you run from here up to Budende. No. It's not possible. The first time you are from here up to Konyokonyo, you get tired, you rest. The next time you go, so your heart is adjusting, your muscles are adjusting, and the stores of oxygen in the muscles are being replenished and they are being stored. So that when you are now going for a longer distance, it is stored so that you reach your destination without getting tired. Back to the Martin Luther issue. If you know who Martin Luther is, he led the revolution and so on in America about the blacks and the whites. But remember, he's always busy. Even at night, he was thinking. And if you are thinking, what do you need? Blood to be flowing to the brain, so that oxygen is supplied and the neurons are used, so that you think about the ideas for the following day. Even during the day, as he's on the pulpit waiting to speak, you also need the oxygen, so that your words can come out rightly. So that one all is what? You are using your heart to pump the blood to supply the oxygen. And that's why he was overusing it. It doesn't mean that the heart of 182 is like a dying heart. No, that's what I mean. It means that the age, his age and the corresponding futures of the heart are not matching. That's why his age was 37 and the heart was 82. Why? Because he was overusing the muscle cells. Back to physiology, the cells of the heart cannot replicate. Like for our skin, every day we shower. When we shower, we are washing away the cells of the skin. We are like doing like what we call a snake molding, where it removes the skin and new one is formed. That's what we do by showering by them. So we remove the skin. When we remove the skin, new one is formed. But for the heart, that's not the case. The brain, that's not the case. The liver, that's the same. But just for the liver, is slow. So when he was overusing the muscles and the cells of the heart, that's why it was corresponding to 82-year-old.
Thanks. Number 5. They are over. Monica. Oh. Amen.
Yeah, you can talk. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. That was comment from Monica. I don't know how I'm going to summarize all of it, but this was a very good comment. She commented on alcohol. What she said is that we are now misusing sugar itself because this is where we are now getting alcohol. But that was not the way that the producers, manufacturers intend us to use it. The manufacturers intend us to use it in food. Maybe if you are not having soup, if you cannot manage to buy something that you can make soup, you can just put in food so that you eat. Manufacturers intend that you can use in tea and the rest of the things that can be eaten. But because we are the problem ourselves now, we turn and we say, no, that one is not good. Let's do it like this so that we can consume it. So all these things, we are the one who brought all these men. And what we need to do as Christians, we need to extend this teaching so that those who are not here may be informed and do well. And there's another one. I think that is what I can prepare.
The last person? Last person? Huh?
Second last.
Second last, number 6.
My question is, sometimes we find a child born with good parents, but cannot speak or cannot laugh whenever you say funny things, so that he cannot laugh, and can isolate himself. So is it called mental health or what?
That one I can answer. It depends on the age of the child. If that child is supposed to speak, or is supposed to go to school, and is not able to say anything, or to show emotion, to smile, but as you say, is this child isolate him or herself, that's a mental health problem. It's called autism, and the only thing we need to do is to take that child to the doctor. Assessment will be done, and we'll be able to see how can that child can be helped. Next person.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to thank our doctors for educating us on our mental health. I have just one question that goes to all of them, not to a specific person. You have talked about the different factors, looking at the physical aspect, the socio-economic aspect that contribute to mental issues. I don't know, from the scientific point of view, how do you relate the traditional practices like witchcraft contributing to the community where people also have that kind of practices? From scientific point of view, how do you look into that? Thank you.
That's a very, very good question. I don't know if that question was not asked. We didn't have time to talk about that. That's a very good question. You see, cultures and religions are a major contribution to science in terms of understanding of diseases, management of these diseases, and even how you can navigate out of that. Witchcraft, and let me tell you, most of mental health problems, people, even those who are learned, even those who are in church, think that these are witchcraft. You get, like they were talking, you get a person with mania, and mania is this high mood disorder. This person is high mood, everything is high. They will tell you here he has been appointed as the president of Kenya, and they are sending an airplane to come and take him for a meeting in Cape Town. After that, he will be inaugurated as the vice president of USA. And when he is coming, his son has just been all this person is saying all these are delusions of grandiosity. He's thinking big and he's seeing big things. If this person presents with this problem, or they are saying whatever we've said here, we think they are being bewitched, witchcraft, and they will be taken to magicians. Sometimes prayers, overnight prayers from pastors, especially these Pentecostal pastors, that is their work. People will pray and spend nights praying over these people. There's no problem with prayer, even for us here, but the first place to go is to a psychiatrist. A doctor is specialized in mental health. That is the first person to see. During the TMI, 3 patients were brought to us at Jebel, where I was doing the interview. And they want us to pray for them. That was good. We prayed, we got the prayer van inside, they prayed. But I tell you, the only thing we had to do for them to at least see them the next day coming was to take them. We referred them to psychiatrists here in town. And one person continued up to the last Sabbath coming to us. In fact, she made a decision to be baptized, but she had a mental problem. You see, she had left her home, her children, 6 years ago and she doesn't know where they are. She's living alone, children are living alone. She left home and she's wondering. Married woman has 5 children, but she left her home and her children. So witchcraft is not one of the causes of mental problems. Yes, demons can do things, and some people will say it's demon possessed. In the scripture there is that, yes, demon possessed. Demon possession. When you come to us as doctors, and this one will agree with me, there is no diagnosis called demon possessed. We will not write that. In church here, we can agree with you, we will pray together for that person and say, yes, demon possessed. But at the end of this, I will treat that one as a psychiatric patient. I will not treat as a demon possessed. These are problems we are dealing with as doctors. We face these problems. Patients or family will come and say, this one has been demon possessed. Even mothers, after delivery, okay, after a mother delivers, there are mothers who begin to have mental problems just after delivery, giving birth. That is called postpartum depression. They will have problems and people will begin to take them where. That's a problem that is treatable. Depression, which they talk about, is treatable. If you take this person to a psychiatrist and they are given proper care for 6 months, they will come out of depression. There are more of these diseases that can be treated, and especially depression. Others like mania can be controlled. Schizophrenia, which is a big problem in mental health, is what is not easy to treat. These people will live long and they will die with that disease. Depression is bad and it's fast killing. If you have seen the statistics, you've had people committing suicide. And we saw the statistics in the US because of depression. So we have talked a lot about this thing. We don't have time to get into the details. I don't know if there are others who still have questions or comments, but we want to end it here. There are 3 messages why we want to talk about this thing. Number 1 is to help us understand, have an awareness that mental health is a real problem. We might have not covered everything. And the causes are clear. Alcohol, those other substances, marijuana and cocaine and the rest can cause serious problems that can trouble our mind. And social problems, as we mentioned them, plus other conditions, other medical conditions. The second message is that if you get this information and you know someone, please help them know that mental health problems are real. They are not witchcraft. They are not demon possessions. They are mental health problems. So that we can know where people can be helped. Where to find help is not only in the church. Yes, let them come to church. We can pray because God is the only one who can heal us. Even at home, God can heal mental health problems. But please let them seek medical attention. Go to the hospital because that's where you can find a doctor. We can control those abnormal behaviors, those symptoms. They can be controlled even if the person will live long with the illness until they die. Some people will get treated, they will get cured, especially with depression. You will save some of them from committing suicide. Because the last stage of depression is when if you don't die from depression, you commit suicide. Or you kill somebody. So that's where depression can lead people. The last message is that there is always hope. Even when somebody has a mental problem, they can come to God, God can heal them, they can come to the doctor, doctor can treat. There's something that can be done, always. There are misconceptions, a lot of myths about mental health. Some of us, even people who sit here, think that mental health is for those who are on the street. Let me tell you, there's no one who is immune from that. You can get sick with mental health. A person you can find today doing great things, tomorrow they are sick in their mind. You don't know what life people have gone through. So let us be messengers. The importance of this afternoon session is to help us also get something that we can take out to help other people outside there. Even if we are okay, there could be many people we could help. And for the sake of time, we want to end it there. May the Lord bless you all. We will pray together as we exit from this session. Lord, our Father, I want to thank you for the time you have been with us in this afternoon, especially for this session on mental health. We understand, Lord, that when you created us as very good beings, free from any deformity. But as we live in this world, especially at our generation, so many troubles, so many problems, and causes of many issues have brought this issue of mental health. We pray that God, you will help us. Each one, even when troubles are so many, and we sometimes think we cannot come out of them, help us not to get into a depressive state, not to get into a state where people commit suicide or commit murder. Help us to be able to trust in you and find hope and rest for our minds and our souls in you. There is only hope when we come to you. This world is old and is passing away with everything in it. Help us to stand firm and to look fast to you, who is our Savior. Continue to be with us in the remaining hours of this Sabbath evening, for we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.